listed Alan Tisdale starting Mike this week on the depth chart. What have you seen out of Alan? Obviously, a more mature guy in that room.
Experience, playing extremely fast, confident, physical, commanding the defense, commanding attention of the offense as well with his playmaking ability. He tracks the ball extremely well, physical at the point of attack, really good change of direction, great pad level, fundamentally strong. He's gotten better and better and better. So excited to watch him run around.
How was he taken to that Mike spot? I mean, that's obviously different than what he's used to.
Yeah, I mean, he's been cross training for 2 years, right? So he knows how to play both. He's good at Will, he's good at Mike, but he's come along significantly at Mike backer. So we're excited to see him command and run around.
You guys didn't have Nasir last week. Coach Pry sounded like might not have him this week. He's a pretty experienced guy in that secondary. What does missing him mean for that group, and what have you seen out of Jalen Jones stepping up?
Well, I'll talk about Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones has been very impressive, particularly since transitioning over. All he does is take coaching, apply it. He asks what I would consider 300-level questions, applies what we try to teach him, and he plays extremely fast, man, with reckless abandon. So, defensively, you love to watch players like that grow and develop. He obviously has some natural skills, right? He's extremely quick, great long speed. He plays with tremendous knee bend. But even transitioning over and not having played defense for a while, he's very instinctual. So, man, we're excited about him, and glad he's with us.
Does that limit your versatility back there? This year it seemed like he played so many different positions.
We love Jalen, man, both Jalen's and a lot of the kids that we have. Again, we cross-train a good amount, so we're excited to see them play.
It seems like Jones, since he's the new face back there, he's been picked on, I guess, the first 2 weeks. What have you seen how he's done in coverage, being able to come in, pick up run responsibilities?
Well, this is the thing. When you're young at a position, you're going to make some mistakes. Some things are a little bit magnified when you're on the back end particularly, right? But he's somebody that we trust because of the work that he's put in, what we see at practice on a consistent basis. So he's going to learn from the things that he's messed up on, the mistakes that he's had. The thing with Jalen is not to compound those mistakes, move forward once he learns from them and continue to get better, which he has.
Alan mentioned that you are somebody he looks up to as he is his own son, as a father figure and as an example to be a great father. What is your relationship like off the field, and how has that grown, especially since you had a newborn?
Yeah, so what I would say, man, my entire philosophy as it relates to coaching is to build the man, and the football player will come. That's been the case since I walked in here day one, since I've started my coaching career, and certainly no different with any of the guys that I coach now, have coached, or will coach in the future. And certainly with Alan, he has a very unique situation. He doesn't have a ton of teammates who have children or who has a child who's been forced to kind of expedite his growing process into manhood while also playing college football at a Power 5 school, right? And so, man, we've been very intentional about the conversations that we've had, about the things that are necessary for him to be successful in this world and in life, both football and off the field. And he's taken to those. I mean, you talk about somebody who loves to work, man, who's infectious in terms of his positivity, in terms of his leadership, and in terms of just how he goes about life. So, certainly a unique situation, a little bit different, but he's somebody who takes the obstacles and hurdles or adversity, however you want to frame it, he takes them well. He's learning and he's going, like we all are every day.
Coach Prime mentioned in the offseason how big of an emphasis one-on-one battles, pass rushing was. How do you feel like your guys have done in the pass rush game so far?
We've improved. There's still a lot out there that we can get done. I think we've had a number of TFLs in the first 2 games, a few sacks, but there's still a lot of meat on the bone. So we're training it. We're looking at it every day and trying to get better.
Back to Tisdale, he said before you had your newborn,
yeah,
he would call you 9, 10 o'clock. It would be talk life.
Yeah.
What were those conversations like with him, especially as he's, like you said, college football player, fatherhood, balancing his studies?
Well, I hope he didn't just use past tense. That's still occurring. But when Tizzy calls, I mean, I'm who I am. I'm authentically Chris Marve on the field and off the field. So, when those conversations occur, they're transparent, they're direct. And, I just try to frame things and give them perspective, because I think all of us, when we were, 22, 23, none of us had the perspective that we have right now in terms of life or anything. We may have thought that we did, but I just try to get him to see the long view. Try to see him to see things from a different perspective than he currently has. And, just try to work through things.
He said his biggest growth has been spiritual. Is that something you're proud of with him?
Absolutely. That's my call and my purpose. If all those who are willing, I'm willing to sell the gospel and share that I'm a believer. I'm unabashed about that. I don't put it in anybody's face, but if you're inquiring, I'm willing to have a conversation.
Coach Pry was pretty critical of run fits in the ODU game.
Yeah.
How did you feel like those improved against Purdue, and what have you thought of the run defense so far?
Yeah, I think that it certainly got better, right? I think the guys were in the right spot more times than not compared to week 1, moving to week 2. There's still a lot of space that we need to converge and eliminate. Certainly when you look at the yardage, it's not what you want at any capacity playing defensive football. But, when you look at last week, they had 40 rushes, I think 3.9 yards a carry. And so we're getting better. We just need to continue to work at that, be impactful at the point of attack and knock ball carriers back, be physical, and just take the air out. So we're working at it, certainly, and every day has been a point of emphasis.
What kind of challenge does Rutgers present in that sense? It seems like this is a pretty physical team.
Oh, yeah.
They'll take it to you.
Oh, yeah, man. They're a run-first team. That's who they are. I mean, we got coaches on our staff that is coach versus coordinator. You look at their personnel up front; they're big. Their running backs are extremely physical, vertical running backs. Strong, good, quick-footed, and know how to cut extremely well and read. Their offensive linemen and defensive players, great. And so they've been coached really well. So for us, it's imperative that we do things that are necessary in order to minimize the way their skill set and their strengths, and also attack in ways that we know how to attack.
Coach Pry knows their offensive coordinator pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Coach with him at Penn State. Has he given you any tips or hints about the tendencies that he had there? Did those discussions happen a lot?
Well, here's the thing. We can always talk about who coaches were or what they were like when we had commonalities, right? When people on our staff were around people on their staff. But coaches, just like players every year, just like reporters every year, you grow and you develop and you change. So it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we acknowledge those changes, that we address them, and that we have a plan to make sure we can minimize as best we can.
Has there been any reinforced emphasis on tackling and how to improve that?
Absolutely. Every week you can become a better tackling team. Certainly an area that we've addressed.
Rutgers is very aggressive, especially third and fourth down situations. The emphasis on getting off on third down, you guys were really great second through third quarters against Purdue, but the first and fourth quarters, they were able to convert. What's going to be key for getting off the field on third down?
Situational awareness, right? Understanding leverage, understanding what their plan of attack is and has been, who they are from a personnel standpoint, and us playing collectively together, all 11, converging when it's time to converge.
And their quarterback that doesn't throw the ball a lot, but he's I think completely close to 60% of his passes, no interceptions. What have you seen that he does well within their scheme and that tries to limit the turnover opportunities?
I think he makes great decisions. You can tell that he understands the scheme, he understands his personnel around him, and I think he makes great decisions. You don't see him make a lot of mistakes. He runs the ball well. Obviously, he has great size. He plays with great vision, but he makes good decisions. Absolutely.